What is up, people? It's me, tamagoE247, and welcome to Not a Therapist.
You have many personal problems, don't you?
Today I'm going to be going through your burning questions, queries, dilemmas, and seeing if me, an unqualified 23-year-old YouTuber, can perhaps alleviate some of your worries. They asked me to specify that this is strictly not therapy, and no advice should be given, should be considered in any serious capacity. I hold no liability for any harm or psychological damage which may incur as a result of following any recommendations given. Am I serious? Of course I'm serious, Kevin. I'm always serious. IMC is my lawyer.
What have I got?
Okay, this is an interesting one. I don't know how I can help with this, but I'll think of it. I gotta do a charity run in 3 weeks. And I have an injury. What do I do? So you haven't specified what kind of injury you have. If it's an injury to do with your legs, then I imagine that would be quite a dilemma. And not only am I not a therapist, I'm also not a physiotherapist. So I would consult your general practitioner regarding that. Just inshallah and run. That's what I do. Okay, this next one I can answer with confidence and nuance. Should I drink Sprite or 7-Up? So, Sprite, in my opinion, is the better drink, okay? I think it has a better balance of carbonation because 7-Up, tasting very similar to Sprite, is just a bit over-carbonated to the point where it can sometimes feel like drinking foam, especially when, you know, you've just poured it in a glass maybe, and it has a lot of, you know, that like carbonated foam at the top, whereas Sprite, it's a lot sharper in flavor and it's not gonna have as much carbonation, but it still tastes really good. I think Sprite is better. Obviously, 7-Up is still great. I would never turn my nose down on 7-Up. Sprite is my favorite fizzy drink, and 7-Up is an acceptable alternative. You know, for me, it goes Sprite, 7-Up, and then, you know, generic lemonade or Schweppes or whatever.
What have I got?
I've got to go to uni, or you're about to go to uni, I'm guessing, and I don't know how to make friends. WTF, I do. Now, it's worth me pointing out that I have not been to university. The thing I would say to keep in mind is that you're in a situation that is being shared with most, if not every other student there. They're new to the establishment. Many of them are new to their area, and they're also looking to make friends, right? So when you get a bunch of people looking to make friends together, friends are naturally gonna occur. Even if you consider yourself as not knowing how to make friends, maybe that comes from a place of you haven't had to do it for a long time. Maybe you went to the same school for a while. Now you actually have to actively try and make friends again. Be open, and when I say be open, I mean like be open to speaking to new people. It can be daunting, obviously it can be daunting, but be open to speaking to new people. Try to put yourself out there. You can't make friends if you lock yourself up in your room. If you want to make friends, you have to be where the people are at. So if your university is throwing any kind of like freshers event where they're trying to get people to kind of mingle and just explore the university campus and stuff like that, go to those, because those are the opportunities to meet people. And I think it's also worth bearing in mind that the people you meet day 1, day 2, maybe even week 1, aren't necessarily going to be the people you're hanging out with 6 months down the line, but at least having that initial group of people that you have a familiarity with can help you and help ease the university experience. You know, when you have a shared group of people that have you know, a shared situation, and you're gonna have a lot of that when you're all starting university together. Madeline saying, it's your chance to start anew. Since most people don't know you or your past, it's a very exciting time. That is also true. Whatever baggage you have from secondary school, sixth form, whatever, you can leave that behind and start afresh in university. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Catastrophe saying, ask lots of questions. People love talking about themselves. That is such good advice. Do you know how many times I've someone's been like, yo, that was a great conversation. And all I did was, oh yeah, oh right, tell me about that. Oh, and then what? They'll be like, that was an amazing conversation.
What have I got?
Okay, what is the next one? Should I eat McDonald's or Burger King? If you can avoid eating either, it's probably best for your health, but I prefer McDonald's overall. Just Burger King, no, I have no values. So I will easily just say you're my favorite one if the bag is heavy enough. I feel like a side character in my own life. Like I'm living through my friends. What do I do? If I understand this correctly, you almost feel like you don't live for yourself. You feel like you're not actually, you know, taking agency in what's going on in your life. You feel like you're more so just an extra, an addition to your friends. I think one of the first things to be done in a situation like this, sit down with yourself and consider things about yourself. So like, just make it very basic. What do you like? What do you not like? Who do you care about? Who do you not care about? Like, be very basic. Like, actually act as though you are trying to figure someone else out. Like, what questions would you ask someone else to get to know them? And then ask those questions to yourself. Because I feel like when you feel like a side character in your own life, or at least when you put it like this, right? What that suggests to me is that maybe you feel like you don't know yourself as well as you'd like to. And so taking the time to actually just try and get to know yourself, I think will help. And then once you've kind of written down and you know what you like, what you don't like, you kind of need to act accordingly, right? And this is a weird example, but I'm going to use this example because I think it perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. So take Breaking Bad, right? So in Breaking Bad, you had Walter White, who was the main character of the show. The show is following him. The show is largely told through his perspective. And so the decisions he makes as a character influence what we as a viewer are seeing, you know, and the trajectory that the story takes. Now, Saul Goodman was in Breaking Bad, and he was a great character, but he's a side character. But then when Saul Goodman gets his own show, Better Call Saul, now his inner like monologue, like what he tells himself, actually starts having an effect on the story. Before, if Saul Goodman wasn't in a good mood in Breaking Bad, it would just be a gag, like, oh, he's cranky. But now when he's not in a good mood in Better Call Saul, it actually shapes the story. You want to like act in such a way, or at least get yourself to the point where what you think actually matters and has an impact on your life. So if you're like feeling like you're living for your friends, you don't want to just do what your friends are doing, right? Like if your friends are saying, hey, we're going to do this, and you kind of don't want to do it, you can be like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. And sometimes you can be like, actually, I think we should do this. And your friends, a lot of them, if they are your friends, sometimes they'll just be like, actually, yeah, that does sound cool. Taking a bit of control. And I think this is also something that can come with age as well, potentially. When you're younger, you are more likely to kind of be a side character in other people's life because you don't have as much of an ability to make your own decisions. You can't go to places by yourself as much. You can't buy things for yourself. It's harder to actually do things for yourself. When you get older, that agency that you have increases, right? I'm a 22-year-old IT professional. How do I become a 23-year-old YouTube professional? All right, what you want to do is transfer to an IT position at YouTube within the next year. And that is your goal accomplished. Look for applications at Google, specifically the YouTube division. I wish you the best of luck. That's a very specific goal, and I hope you can accomplish it. If anything, you could just make YouTube videos about being an IT professional, and then you would be a YouTube IT professional. I went to one of those Amazon stores today where you walk in and walk out without going to checkout. Amazon missed off an item off my list, and now I got something for free. Should I report this? So I don't endorse stealing. However, the policy of the store is you walk in with your stuff. Oh, you walk in, sorry. You grab the stuff you want and you walk out. It is then Amazon's responsibility to charge you for the stuff you took. So if you walked out with something and they did not charge you for it, that means they wanted you to have it for free. It was a gift, okay? So accept it as a gift and move on with your life. A girl just came to my school, not from here. She's nice and cute, but I don't know how to approach her in a friendly way without seeming weird. Tips. Okay. First of all, this reminds me of when, you know, the girl I had a crush on when I came up with my username. I remember when she joined the school, and when I introduced myself to her, I was like, hi, I'm Simi. Would you like to be the blue Power Ranger? Because I play Power Rangers with my friends, and we have a red ranger, a yellow ranger, and a green ranger, but we don't have a blue one. So would you like to be the blue Power Ranger? I can't remember what she said, but she did not play Power Rangers with us. Man, you had no game whatsoever. I was 7 years old. Cut me some freaking slack, bro. I would say that, you know, when someone has just joined a school, right? They are in a brand new environment. They're trying to adjust. So the first thing on their mind probably isn't, you know, who can I date or whatever. If you like at least want to like say hello to this person and just be friendly, I think that's totally fine. I would, as you would with kind of approaching anybody that you're looking to have a conversation with, try and find some common ground. I wouldn't approach it as, all right, I'm gonna try and like pick her up, kind of like a pickup artist. I would approach it more so like, hey, I want to know if this person is cool. Do I have something that could spark a conversation between us? Like, take it super casual. But if you're looking for a way to approach, I would say just approaching as, hey, I'm here to help. If you need any help, that's a good way to approach, I'd say. Okay, mate, cut out the therapy voice. It feels weird. Am I putting on a therapy voice? Have I ever had imposter syndrome, Trey? Yo, majorly. I've majorly had imposter syndrome. Majorly. In different parts of life, you know, going to school, I was a really academic kid. But sometimes I develop imposter syndrome where like, damn, I'm not really that smart. Like, you know, I would watch shows like those kid genius shows where they show those child prodigies, and I'd be like, damn, I guess I'm not that smart, you know, like look at how smart these kids are. I'm not that smart. Because being the smart kid was a big part of my identity when I was younger. So I felt imposter syndrome in that way. But a more like recent example is like as a YouTuber, a lot of times I've just been like, bro, I'm really not that good a YouTuber. Like, why? Like, what am I doing? Why am I trying to do this? I'm not like these other YouTubers. But it's one of those things where, at least specifically with that, the more I did it, the less I had imposter syndrome, because it's like, well, I've proven that I can make a good video. And that wasn't even when I was first starting out on YouTube. That was like, you know, as late as like 2019, where I'm like, damn, I'm not that good at this. But it's one of those things, the more you make videos, the more I was like, oh, I do know how to make good videos. I've not done it once, I've not done it twice, I've done it like, you know, many times. And that's not to like, you know, toot my own horn, but sometimes you have to be real with yourself. Like, oh, I do know how to do this. I am good at this. I'm able to make a living at this, which demonstrates that I do know what I'm doing. Okay, maybe I'm not an imposter. Maybe I actually know how to do this. So sometimes it's just by doing something enough times to prove to yourself, oh wait, no, I'm actually totally good at this, that you're able to do it. This is a very interesting one. Wow, okay. I love Greg's sausage rolls, but my not my breast friend, my best friend loves couplings sausage rolls. How do I break off all connections with them without hurting them? Unfortunately, I don't think you're gonna be able to do it without hurting them, as long as you make it clear why it's happening. You tell them, couplings just doesn't fly with me, and then cut them off. That's the best thing you can do. It will hurt them, but that's the best way to do it.
This is one weird place.